What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Prodigy, and welcome to our video on the channel. Today, guys, I have a looser video for you today. I just want to ramble about what I think might be the most likely crossovers to happen in the future of Kingdom Hearts, and what we can maybe expect from these crossovers in the future if some of these were to potentially happen. This is a very popular discussion, as Kingdom Hearts is one of those series that is filled with a lot of crossovers from mostly Disney, some other Square Enix properties, and people want to see even more of that. People really like what we saw in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance by them adding the Worlds with You characters into the Kingdom Hearts universe, and I feel like it's decently possible for us to get something like that again in the next phase, maybe even with multiple different IPs or franchises from Square Enix. In the Kingdom Hearts 1 Ultimania, series director Tetsuya Nomura revealed that originally Aerith was supposed to be a character from Parasite Eve, which to me shows that Square Enix is very willing to have more crossovers than just the Worlds with You or more than just Final Fantasy. So I could very much see us getting something like Dragon Quest, for example, mixed into Kingdom Hearts one day, or Octopath, or who knows, maybe we'll see something like Star Ocean appear in Kingdom Hearts one day. But to get some of the more obvious ones out of the way, Star Wars and Marvel. Now, these were two very controversial things in the past when it came to Kingdom Hearts, when it came to crossovers for Kingdom Hearts. Some people are not as big of a fan of Star Wars. Some people weren't in the past as big of fans of Marvel. Some still aren't. But the premise for why people didn't want that to come into Kingdom Hearts, to a degree, aside from people who just didn't like those IPs, so they didn't want them in Kingdom Hearts, adding in the Star Wars and Marvel universe would kind of open up a lot for the Kingdom Hearts franchise. They're not very grounded stories necessarily, like these Disney movies we tend to cover, or these Pixar movies we have in Kingdom Hearts. Marvel and Star Wars are like spanning across multiple galaxies, multiple universes, but that's not really a bad thing necessarily in my eyes. It's just what I could see being hard for them to write in to the Kingdom Hearts world. But there's ways they could do it, and I'm pretty open to the idea, especially nowadays. Back in the day, I wasn't as crazy about it, mostly because, well, I was into Marvel and I was interested in Marvel being in Kingdom Hearts. I had the idea that maybe they could make it similar to how they did Winnie the Pooh, but instead of it, you know, being the Winnie the Pooh book, it could be like some comic books. I don't know, maybe they go to someone's house, or maybe Merlin has like a stash of comic books somewhere, and we just go inside the comic books and we meet Spider-Man or the X-Men or whatever, the Avengers. Star Wars could technically have a similar thing happen, but Star Wars is more popular in the cinemas outside of comics. It does have a lot of comics though that are really good, by the way. You guys should read those. But Star Wars I wasn't as crazy about back in the day, mostly because I wasn't a fan of Star Wars back in the day, because I didn't watch it. But over the past like 2-3 years, I have actually become a very big Star Wars fan. I've consumed like everything Star Wars nowadays. Clone Wars, Rebels, I love those shows to bits and pieces, and I would love to get any representation of those in Kingdom Hearts. Like beforehand, it was like, oh, Star Wars, I mean, I'm not really a Star Wars fan. I don't know if I want that in Cage, but now I'm like, yes, okay, put Star Wars in Kingdom Hearts. I just want a lightsaber keyblade. I want to fight Darth Vader. Like, I don't even care if it makes sense partially. That's just how big of a fanboy I am of it now. I just want to see Star Wars in Cage. That would just be cool. Like, I was thinking before with Kingdom Hearts 3 that maybe at most they could do like a Death Star gummy ship or something. That would be a cool little secret boss battle. But I don't know, if they could figure out some way to do Star Wars in Phase 2, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. I think the most likely way they would do Star Wars would probably be doing A New Hope. Like, I think that's just the easy thing everyone goes towards whenever they want to do Star Wars. Anything in media, like A New Hope is just the thing they go towards. For those of you who aren't Star Wars fans, A New Hope is just the first Star Wars movie, so just know that. That's probably just what they would do. If not that, my preferred route wouldn't be A New Hope. My preferred route would probably be along the lines of, I guess, Clone Wars, because I really like the Clone Wars like environment. I also do think Sora would fit in very well with the Rebels crew, and the Rebels crew offers them access to a lot of different characters, because that's a pretty beautiful time period to be in terms of content. Darth Vader's around doing his thing, so Sora could easily get a Darth Vader interaction. You have the Inquisitors walking around, and Sora could have a bunch of different battles with them. I don't know, this is becoming a Star Wars video. I'm gonna save that for another day, because that is in the plans. But moving along, I actually did a poll on YouTube a little over a week ago, asking you guys, who do you think would be the most likely future crossovers for Kingdom Hearts? And a whopping 75% out of over 5,000 votes said Final Fantasy 13 or Final Fantasy 15 would be most likely for a crossover. Understandably speaking, especially 15, off of what we've seen with Yozora. While Yozora is not Noctis, he is not literally Noctis, well, but inspiration is very clear, and just because we see that inspiration, it leads people to believe that it is possible we'll see some sort of 15 references, or a bunch of 15 references, or 13 references in the future for Kingdom Hearts, and I would not mind that at all. Imagine if we had Yozora in the Kingdom Hearts game, but Noctis was also his own separate character as well, and Noctis, instead of, you know, being who he is in 15, he's just kind of walking around. He's kind of just an NPC in Quadrantum or Shibuya, and you just see them interact in some way, shape, or form. That would be kind of funny. You get a Ventus Roxas situation happening there that I think would just be pretty cool. Regarding other franchises, Square Enix, I feel like they would definitely just have like some random one-off IP of theirs in Kingdom Hearts. Maybe one of their smaller IPs, like one of the main characters make an appearance. Maybe they're like the owner of a shop or something in this big city, or maybe they even help guide Sora and help him like navigate the city, or Riku, whoever is the character we're using during this time span. There's always the possibility of random characters from IPs showing up, and we might even see more of that in Phase 2, because some people believe that we might get even more Square Enix stuff in Phase 2 in general, which I could definitely see, but I don't think it's going to be to the extent that people think it's going to happen. I still think Disney stuff is going to happen a lot, actually, so I don't think that they're going to be pushing Disney like all the way to the side and focusing on Square. I think it's still going to be like a nice little balance. I do actually think Dragon Quest is very likely, though. I feel like out of all of the other Square Enix properties solely that they would have in a future Kingdom Hearts game, I do think Dragon Quest is something that is kind of overdue to have some sort of representation in Kingdom Hearts. I mean, Dragon Quest is insanely popular and has been doing really well lately also, so I think if they wanted to like capitalize, or maybe not just capitalize, but if they just wanted to put Dragon Quest in Kingdom Hearts, I mean, they could definitely do it, and it probably should have happened already, to be honest with you. How they would include it, I have no idea. Like, Square Enix characters do like the most random things in Kingdom Hearts and have some very different stories from how they are in their original interpretations, but it's always cool to see where they go with that sort of stuff. Going back to Star Wars and Marvel for a little bit, something I did not touch on fully, with Star Wars and Marvel, those aren't necessarily Square Enix properties like Dragon Quest is, or 15 or 13 is, but they are under Disney. But I want to say that just because they're under Disney does not mean it's super easy for them to get Marvel or Star Wars in Kingdom Hearts. Tetsuya Nomura has stated before, actually, in an interview, I forget exactly which interview, but I'll try and put it on screen if I can find it. But series director Tetsuya Nomura basically said that they have to contact those companies, or they have to talk to those companies directly to get that sort of thing to happen. It's not just Disney they have to talk to. Like for Star Wars, they would have to talk to Lucasfilms. For Marvel, they have to talk to Marvel, not just Disney, who owns both of them. But that's about it for today's video, though. I just want to talk about this because I thought this would be a really fun topic to cover, and could get a conversation sparking on what we think could happen in the future in terms of crossovers, how crazy it could be, which one do we think is going to happen next. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. If it's something that I didn't even mention in this video, let me know as well. I actually do plan on making separate videos that's going super deep into some of these crossovers crossover ideas, mostly with Star Wars and with Marvel, especially with Star Wars. I would love to get those out one day. But other than that though, if you guys enjoyed today's video, you already know what to do. Leave a like, share the video with a friend or family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become a part of the union, all you have to do is that red subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, you guys. Bye.
Now she's a daydreamer. She's always thinking about him. No more room in this picture for you to fit in. Now she's crying.